I'm going to critique the most expensive property listed for sale in Hamptons. So if you ever decide to purchase a property in Hamptons, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm also going to give it an Arvin score based on my 10 principle of quality at the end of the video. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy Mansion guy. Let's watch this video together.
Hey guys, I'm Ray Parisi with CNBC, and we are way out in the Hamptons today, here to check out the most expensive home for sale in Southampton. This oceanfront estate is called Dune. The price tag is $150 million.
Can you spot the flaw? I sometimes pause the frame and ask my subscribers to spot the flaw because it is a muscle you have to exercise to get good at it, so you won't make the mistakes when you purchase a property for yourself. I'll give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. You see, this property was a shingle design property, which is very common in Hamptons, derived from New England style. But it has a very Georgian colonial revival symmetry to it. But it's off. You see, the upper part is very symmetrical, but the lower part, the windows don't match up. Do you know why? Because in the 1990s, this property went through a crazy remodel to bring it back to life. And at that point, the shingle design was maybe overplayed at that time in Hamptons, and they decided to give it a Georgian twist. I'm not against it, but there was a problem. You see, this is such an old house, over 100 years old. They could not rearrange the lower windows to line up with the upper windows to give it proper symmetry. You normally get pairs of 2s. You're getting pairs of 3s, and the windows don't line up. And to me, right off the bat, that's an obvious flaw. And it would be something you would have to fix. But that's not the only flaw. This property has a ton of flaws, and it has a crazy story because it sold for way less than $150 million. You're going to find out very soon why.
Right now, you're flying up the coastline of one of the most expensive strips of sand in America. Some people call this Billionaire's Beach.
Oh my God, there again with the billionaires business. Dude, this billionaires branding is one of the most nonsense, branding thing. They just slap billionaires row to everything to make it, to give it like a cachet. Like, never pay attention to that, okay? Most of the places that are labeled Billionaires Beach, they're definitely second tier. They're not first tier.
Steps away is the estate's second home, also massive, spanning more than 9,000 square feet. In total, the Dune estate delivers about 21,000 square feet of living space, 19 bedrooms, and 16 baths. So this is super broker Shawn Elliott. He is the man who's been hired to sell this place.
Okay, pay attention to this guy. I'm sure you've seen him. If you've seen mansion tours, you've seen this guy, a lot of the TV shows he's been on. I think he was one of the founders, if not the founder, of Nest Seekers. He sells properties in Hamptons, New York, Los Angeles. Very well known. Like, this guy knows it, right? Knows it all, been there, sold it. He's an older guy, so he's been there, done it, sold it, everything, right? Just remember that. We're going to get back to this.
So this is the backyard of Dune. I'm presuming it's named after the dune that it sits on.
Did you notice the big change? The front facade, it was a 4-story. The back facade, it's a 3-story. You know what that means? All that frontage, that private driveway, 4-acre estate, you drive in, motor court, beautiful. And the facade was pretty good. I mean, I'm very, picky, but you could say, very beautiful facade. And you come in and you open the door, guess what? You have to take the stairs to get to the beach level. The Dune, it's named after, covers the first floor. So when you walk in, you're going to walk into a lower floor that's going to feel like a basement.
The staff here set up for you chairs and umbrellas with towels for today, so you could whale watch, dolphin watch. I mean, you could do whatever you want, and toes in the sand.
Let's go check it out. So this is really classic Hamptons architecture, yeah?
This is the quintessential Southampton colonial.
Okay, did you notice? He mentioned colonial. Shingle design is a lot more closer to, I would say, Queen Anne in ways that it's non-symmetrical. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's very artistic, okay? It's actually anti-symmetry and order. So when you take a shingle design and you give it symmetry, which is popular, it looks good, I'm not against it, we will have to call it colonial, right? Because it has that element added to it. But overall, on the backside, you can see that originally this was a heavily shingled house. They've rearranged the windows and set it up to give it that symmetry. and that feel of a colonial feel. But on the front facade, when they tried to do the same thing, things did not line up because of the foundation of the property. You see, when the older property, you have these like heavily foundation and the walls that you can't move, then you can't rearrange the windows in that symmetrical form. And then you see that shift, right? The upper and the lower floors don't match. And it creates that like, okay, that's, that's a flaw. But on this side, it looks a lot more authentic.
Oh man, I love this.
I don't. Super, super, super low ceilings. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a 100-year-old property, and there's not much you can do to raise the ceilings here. You've inherited this, right? And quite frankly, the second house on the lot was built because this house was not really functional. That second house is much, much newer. I think it was built in the 2000s, where the owner was like, I can't really live here. Let me build another house, and because you got 4 acres to do so. But overall, this is a very low ceiling, redundant, formal living space.
How about a dining room table set for 12?
The ocean in every window. And then it looks like, is that another dining room off the
It
dining room?
is. So imagine having Thanksgiving here.
Did you hear that? Did you hear how Shawn spun it good? What the hell are you doing having huge 2 dining rooms next to each other? It doesn't make sense. You know why? Because this is an older house built 100 years ago. And, you could come and see a property from the outside and fall in love with its architectural look and want to try to preserve it. And almost everyone in the history of this property has tried to do that multiple times. And they've never, ever been able to fix the layout issue. And hence, they built the second house. That's a newer building. The second house was built, the guest house, which is really the main house now, was built much more recent in the last 10, 20 years. Why? Because this property was built so long ago where the bones and the bearing walls and the ceiling heights lock you in such a horrible layout that when you walk in, you have a very vertical foyer that doesn't have any wow factors. Forget about the ground floor because that's just a staff quarters, right? There's nothing there for you. You have to go up. And then when you take the stairs up, you can't even see the view. You hit a wall, which has a couple doors to all these rooms that we just saw, which connect to each other in a line. How the hell are you going to fix that? In many ways, it's a teardown. In many, many ways, it's a teardown. You either have to literally take the shell out, reinforce the wall, give it proper foundation where you can divide the rooms all in the right way, and then you still have to fix the elevation difference of entering from the motor court and then going up a level to actually see the ocean. And that's why just because you see a property that looks beautiful and the lot is amazing, you don't have to buy it. Like, you need to have a plan with it. I think some of the biggest mistakes happen when you think you can figure it out. When in reality, every owner of this property, I've reached out to the Southampton library, okay? And I can tell you, no one is able to figure out. They've been able to kind of somewhat fix the facade, make it more modern, more appealing. And every time this property has changed hands, it's just changed hands based on the lot size, not the house itself. And asking $150 million for it is criminal. And you will find out what happened later in the video.
Molding, railings, this is all original
This
stuff?
is all original. My client restored it to perfection. Are you ready for probably one of the nicest primary bedrooms with the most amazing view?
Oh man.
I mean, we're talking about the Atlantic Ocean right now, 50-yard line.
It's incredible how we come out of that hall and it opens up.
Come on, I mean, look at the ceiling height.
You see, I believe in the 1990s renovation, they kept the first 2 floors because that's where the foundation and the sand was. And then the 3rd and 4th floor where we are right now, they completely lifted up, reframed it to give it the volume. But they couldn't do that for the 1st and 2nd floor because of the foundation. And they just, aesthetically, that's why to me, the lower half of the house looks very different than the second part of the house. And it doesn't even line up the right way. And that's how much you can tell by just looking at a property up front, if you know what to look for.
And you've got 2 terraces, not one, to take you out and show you this beautiful beach.
So this is all primary and it branches off here to like a sitting room? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop. I mean, we're talking about a primary bedroom. It takes up half this floor. Come in here and you got your primary bathroom. You're overlooking the beach. Beautiful, right?
That is a spectacular view of the whole run of that beach. Are you lost?
No, we're good.
Did you see the clothes? Like, where was the walk-in closet? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that they haven't even figured out yet. And they've spent probably $5 to $10 million just renovating this big house. Now, forget about the building the guest house, which is really the main residence in this case.
Going up.
Bedroom number 1.
We just motored through 3 levels of the house.
Yep, we did.
4 levels of the house. This is the attic. Okay.
On the lowest level, we have the grand entrance.
With the exception of this foyer, which boasts 20-foot high coffered ceilings and a staircase, the home's lowest level is devoted to staff, kind of like the downstairs in the Downton Abbey series.
Did you see that? That foyer is not even that great. It's very vertical, but there's nothing to see. I mean, you have to take the stairs and you don't even see the view once you land. It's a hallway up there against the wall with a bunch of doors that you can enter.
This was set up for a couple different reasons, and again, it depends on the family needs. It could be security, it could be an office.
At the 150 million mark, you start to require area for security, certainly areas for staff, and it looks like we're walking into the staff kitchen now.
Yeah. And you need a house manager, right? So you need someone to manage the house. So this is the staff kitchen. It's really the catering kitchen.
You know what's funny? They didn't even show you the kitchen upstairs because it's smaller than this and in some ways worse than this. And this is on the ground level with really, really short ceiling facing the motor court. You see, that's what I'm saying. The first 2 floors are so old and the bones of it have stayed for hundreds of years, and it's completely unlivable and unacceptable for this price point in this day and age. And no one has been able to fix it. The last owner who's selling this property just said, you know what? I don't want to solve this question. I'm going to create another house on the other side.
Elevator, so if you're making food, right, and your staff brings it up the elevator, and it just doesn't stop. And then the things you don't need to see are like laundry. They have enough laundry machines for all of Southampton.
Next stop, we head outside and over to house number 2. Technically, it's 2 lots, yeah?
It's 2 lots.
Okay, the lot is magnificent. Both the width, the length, the location. You're pretty sure you know what you're going to get at the end. The lot quality is 10 out of 10.
You've got this beautiful, beautiful pool. This was built for a huge family.
What kind of maintenance costs are we talking about per year here? And do you have an idea of the taxes?
So the taxes in the Hamptons are really low. I mean, if you look at
low?
They're low. And the reason why
I'm going to call BS on that. They're not low.
The
You're going to
taxes-
offend people right now. What do you mean low?
Well, listen, a
Comparatively.
$10 million house in the Hamptons, the taxes could be $12,000. No joke. It's just the way it is. You know,
Well, what about this place?
this place, they're somewhere around $100,000. But you're talking $150 million, right?
A bargain. $100,000 a year is a bargain,
Wait,
according to
on
Shawn.
a $150 million house, and if you can't afford that, then you shouldn't be buying this house.
Yeah.
If it was in California, the taxes would be $3 million.
So it depends where in California, right? Because it also, you got to take into account the city county tax on top of the state tax. So it all adds up to a higher amount. But California is up there. I think Texas has the highest. Now, let's check out the guest house because this is a new construction.
It feels like a little bit mini of a version of that place, stylistically almost identical.
With a lot of higher ceilings, right? Very, again, traditional in how room to room it is, and it's horribly staged. Sitting arrangement over here, sitting arrangement in the other room. What the hell is the point of having 2 sitting arrangements next to each other? Nobody knows. And just this kind of redundant white couches with very bulky, like they gotta, buy 2 get 5 free is very boring, and there's no pop colors either. You got to have a little bit of more fun into it. You got to bring a little bit of a brighter color. Horribly staged. That's not helping sell this property either.
Wait till you see this theater. It's huge.
The beach vibe continues.
The beach vibe never ends. The sisal carpet, the white chic chairs, 4K Dolby Atmos theater.
Wow.
It's one of the best in the world, but yet it's shabby chic, right? It's Hampton style.
Yeah.
More staff rooms, right? And we're back. Another room, wait, hold on.
We are definitely lost.
But we found the gym. You get a massage in our massage room. Come in here, take a steam. I mean, it doesn't get better than this.
It does get better than this. It does significantly get better than this. Even the newer guest house, very boring. No design. I mean, just, having everything white and calling it Hamptons, you don't get away with it in my book. But most interestingly, I would say the property was a lot more colonial elements on the interior than the exterior. To me, exterior of the guest house was more of a shingle design than the main house or the older house.
The total number of bedrooms in this house are
9. But take a look at this. I mean, we're talking about front to back. These are real primaries. These are no joke. Every one of them is spectacular. Look at the ceiling. It just keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding.
So boring. Nothing. And they're wondering why the property is not selling. There's no life into this. It's just a complete lifeless property.
I might prefer this house.
Listen, Ray, I'll sell you either one you want or both of them. It doesn't make a difference.
Would you actually split them up?
We might. It's something that we would consider.
Yeah, they're desperate. And you will find out what happened to the property.
And you've had this amazing, huge terrace. The best part of this, the views. Take a look at this beautiful sunken tennis court.
This yard keeps going and going. I didn't even realize there was a sunken tennis court here, and it's gigantic.
And that's what makes it so special because, looking at a tennis court isn't necessarily pretty, but look at this one with the pergolas, the landscaping, the beauty.
So 150 million, we're closing in on 7,000 plus per square foot.
Pay attention. See what Shawn answers this.
Yes, and you're closing in on 7,000 a foot for one reason and one reason only, because of location.
Yeah, that ocean.
That's it. I mean, you are truly on the 50-yard line of nothing but wealth, right? And in real estate, we always know it's location, location, location. It's not a cliche. You're in the Hamptons, you're on the best beach in probably all of the East Coast, and you've got that view. So today, to me, just the land alone would be worth north of $100 million.
Did you hear that? The land alone, to him, an expert, someone you've been watching on TV for years, someone who does deals, who owns brokerages, to him, he's putting his neck on the line and saying $100 million just the land. Now let's see what happens.
So if there were no houses here on these two lots, you think 100 million just for the dirt?
Absolutely. This house is the furthest thing from a tear down, but if the house wasn't here, this lot alone, each one of them would be worth 50 million.
Insane it is, because it sold at auction for $88.9 million, but there was a 12% auction fee, so the owner only got $79 million. Now you're thinking, Arvin, why? Like, what happened? Well, two things. First of all, real estate agents are not experts, okay? They play one on TV, and that has a lot to do with the way you think, okay? In the last 20 years, real estate agents through television, $1 million listings, selling Sunset, they've been glorified as these like superhero people who are experts in real estate, when they're experts in transacting. Okay, they're not experts in real estate. They're experts in transacting. They're two different things. Okay, they're expert at making money, selling homes, the successful ones. They're not experts in real estate. I hope I distinguish that. Okay, because I've gone through the standard training from the best of the best real estate agents, that I can tell you, they do not teach you what I teach you on this channel. They teach you, the only thing they really, really focus on teaching you is how to time block and cold call and cold email and cold text message to get new clients, and how to perform in listing appointments. That's it. That's the standard training for real estate agents. They never talk about what is a home quality, 10 principles of quality, none of that stuff, okay? So when you see a successful real estate agent like Shawn Elliott, okay, coast to coast, very famous, extremely wealthy, it doesn't mean he actually knows pricing, because he's focusing on lead generation, he's focusing on maintaining his clients, escrows, negotiating for his clients, and closing deals. That's what a real estate agent does. You see, in the car world, when you go to the car dealership, you don't expect the salesperson to be an expert in the car. Maybe like 20, 30 years ago, before internet, you did. But now, because cars are standardized, right? Like you can go look at a Jeep a certain year, and they've made 50,000 of them or 100,000 of them globally, so there are reviews on it. But with homes, they're one of a kind. There are no reviews on home beside my channel. Now you're thinking, well, Arvin, what happened with this property? You see, this property was always a teardown. It had a beautiful facade. The person who actually renovated, even with its flaw that I said it was not a proper colonial revival, the symmetry is off and everything, it was always a teardown, and they never fixed or addressed the main problem of the house, which is the first 2 floors. It's extremely bad. And every owner who's gone through this property has given up on the main house. So it's dirt value, right? It is dirt value. And dirt value at auction, you got the price that you thought it would. Now, the most important thing is being able to see that and not overpay for it, because that facade could get you excited. That entrance, that approach could get you really going, and you can say, I can fix it. But when you don't have someone who's reversed engineering a feeling and a concept of like a goosebumps or a wow factor into 10 principles, which I teach in my 5-day workshop, you're going to think I can do it. Where I can see this property from an exterior photo and tell you it's a teardown. Because the first 2 floors is a different house than the second 2 floors. Okay, now let's score this property based on my 10 principles of quality. Location, Hamptons, beautiful, on the beach. It's a 10 out of 10. Log quality, come on. Width, length, perfect, right? You've got so much width of the lot, so much setbacks that every direction is open to you. Lot utilization, also a 10. The property, both properties, so comfortable, sit on the lot. You have the massive driveway, frontage, tennis court, you've got it all. Privacy, super, super private. Now, this is important for beachfront properties because people on the beach could get to you, but there is a apparent fence, but also it's perched up. Remember, the property is not really level. At the end of it is perched up on the sand, which is really causes a ton of issues with the property, but at least it gives you a lot of privacy, and it's going to get a 10 for that as well. Lot orientation, I'm going to give it an 8. It is actually kind of southeast facing, but again, you have so much setback from all other sides. You're totally fine. You're not against anything busy either. Architectural style. To me, it's a 7. Again, to most people might be an 8 or 9. But to me, the fact that bottom half not matching the upper half, and then on the back facade being more of a shingle design than a colonial design, it's good, but it's no cigar. Views, it's an 8. It's an ocean view. It's front row. Again, at nighttime, it's going to be super dark. I'm not going to give it a 10. Layout is a 3. A horrible layout, right? Like, especially the main house. And even the guest house wasn't that special. I think they really tried to mimic the main house to architecturally be cohesive, the 2 properties with each other. Probably the best move on this property was splitting the lots. Really splitting the lots might have been the best case for this property. Scale and volume, another 3. Again, the first 2 floors of the main house was so bad that I just can't give it anything higher. And the finishes were 6. They were not disgusting. They were livable. I think even someone who is worth billions of dollars, they would at least move into it. Maybe it's not a necessity to finish it right away. And the Arvin score is over here. If you want to see Lenny Kravitz's property in Paris, I did a case study. If you're into this stuff, I think you should check it out. It's an unbelievable video. It's one of my favorites. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comments.